and you're watching me on my channel Slate with Anita. We are talking about this series called Sessions with Sue, which is like my longest playlist on my channel. And this is where I discuss the concepts of NLP, that's Neuro-Linguistic Programming, by referring to a book by my mentor Sue Knight in her book NLP at Work. Well, the last time we had spoken, we spoke about conflict, primarily internal conflict, because if we resolve internal conflict, we can easily deal with the external conflict. Sounds like a plan, right? Ready to rock and roll? Well, imagine this. You know, at one point of time or even now, when you have these, like many people, they will have their own counsel, right? I mean, they'll have different people that they work with. And there are some people who will say positive things and some people may challenge your ideas or may not say so positive things, correct? But then they're all on the same team, your team. So if like we discussed in the last video, if we want to achieve personal peace and personal coherence so that we are able to deal with the world in a better manner, then let me tell you, we also need to be aware that internally we have a team. Imagine inside us, like the good dog, bad dog, mad dog, or the yin and the yang, or the nice and the not so nice, or the side which tells you go for it and the side that tells you stop, don't do it. Well, the idea is to manage this internal team so that you're completely in sync with yourself, you're completely at rapport with yourself, and you can do your best job possible. Doesn't that sound great? Well, today I'm going to talk about what are the steps that we can actually take in the beginning consciously so that the discipline and skill builds in us, so that later on we literally can click our finger and then reach the state very automatically. That way we'll always ensure that all our internal team members are working in a collaborated manner and not in a corrosive manner. That does sound good, right? Well, many of us hear this term, pull yourself together, you know. So when you actually say that, it means that you function in a manner where everything within you is in complete harmony. Well, how do we reach there? Let's take an example. In fact, you know what? I was trying to think about many examples, but I thought, why not talk about something which is actually very personal and happening with me literally right now. You know what happens? Generally, when I shoot my YouTube videos, firstly let me confess, I'm still not at that space where I can just very naturally start shooting. My team in fact freaks out because I always mess up the first couple of times. But coming back to the issue at hand, so the generally a way I record my YouTube videos is that I try and do about 10 to 12 videos, say in a span of a day or two, so that then I can get back to the other things in my life. Here's what happens, okay? And how do I work with that? By resolving this conflict within me through this process called team management or parts integration. That means integrating the different parts that I have within me. Let's understand how does that work. So let's say I have like my left hand and my right hand, right hand and my left hand. And the first step is, and I really encourage all of you to do it while you're watching me. Let's say there's something that's going on in your mind and a part of you is saying something and a part of you is saying something else, like in my case. What was my case? That okay, Anita, you're going to shoot 10 to 12 videos at one shot. So there is this right part of me which says, bingo, go for it. Once you have shot 10 to 12 videos, you just don't have to worry for about 3 to 4 months or till Ali next comes to Bangalore from Bombay and he can shoot your videos. So chill, go for it. I mean, you're going to complete like a significant amount of work. And plus you'll also be able to revise the concepts. It's going to help you in your training and coaching as well. So it's all good. Fantastic. Go for it. And those are some of my parts. And let's say I bring all those parts on one hand. Now, I don't have any bias, but let's say I bring all these positive parts, the fun side, the positive side, the encouraging side, the empowered side, the confident side, the go for it side, and I bring it to my right hand. And let's say on the left hand, I have the not so useful parts of me. where let's say, why do you have to do so many videos at one shot? Are you sure you'll not mess it up? Are you sure you'll not be in a rush just to complete the number? Are you sure you'll be focusing on the quality of each video and not just doing it mechanically back to back? What if some video turns out really bad? What if you're just not able to remember the content? Are you prepared enough? Have you sorted out all your dresses that you're going to wear in the videos? You can see by my expression how scared I suddenly am feeling, or nervous or jitters that I'm going through, just by talking about these parts that are not so useful in the way of me doing my 10 to 12 videos. So what do I do now? Firstly, are you so far with me? Which means if you're going through something and you have your 2 parts or maybe more parts, and remember, they're all part of the same team. They're all part of your team. What is the next step? What generally tends to happen? Generally what tends to happen is we'll try and shut out one of the parts. We'll either say, no, you don't know what you're talking about, and yes, indeed, these are all like, as it is you're quoting from a book and you're going to talk about a person who's like a very well-renowned name in NLP. You have no right to botch it up. So yes, this part needs to win, and just ignore the other part. And let's say, maybe in an extreme case, if I don't resolve this, if I don't integrate my parts, I could end up not doing that many videos, or I could end up not doing the videos at all. On the other hand, it can happen that I only focus on the right part, where I'm like, let's see, whatever happens, I'm just going to complete it. And that's how I'll function. Okay? To say in Hindi, jo hoga dekha jayega, kind of a thing. That also may not be completely useful, because you know what? Both are on your team, and the next step is to try and see how is it that both of them can exchange something with each other. How is it that both can give something to each other so that these parts can get integrated? This is what Sue has beautifully illustrated through different steps, and let's see how that integration can happen. Example, so if I have this left part which is a little worried, which is a little apprehensive, which is not very sure if it's a great idea for me to do so many videos at one shot, then I'll actually ask myself, or rather, the first thing that I will do is 100% accept both the sides. And remember that they're both a part of me. They are both for me. And can I find a way to make them meet each other, so that I do go ahead and create some lovely videos for you. So what can one part say to another, or what can one part exchange with another, so that I achieve that personal harmony, that personal peace, that personal coherence, so that the experience of me doing the videos is in a complete, prepared, and in a state where I'm sure about what I'm doing. And yet I'm able to do it with the vulnerability that it's as much a learning process for me as much as it is about the privilege of sharing something with all of you. So this part, which is not so for me doing so many videos at a stretch, maybe I will let the right part tell this, don't worry. Yes, I do want to do a more number of videos at one shot, simply because it's logistically good. It's helpful to do it when I'm in that zone of doing videos, and that does not mean that I'm going to let you down. That does not mean that I'm going to do it as a formality. So be rest assured, I'll take care of you. And then this part says, okay, as long as you remember that, and I'm okay. Just remember, there's a deeper purpose why you are doing all this. So just remember that deeper purpose. So when these things get exchanged between both these two parts which are within me, it helps me, join both my parts and then arrive at a sense where I'm okay doing what I'm doing. And you know what? Maybe I'll slip up. Maybe all my videos won't turn out like exactly brilliant, or I'll keep getting feedback from my team that, okay, this is something you could have done better. But you know what? It's okay. It's still worth pursuing that passion, worth pursuing that privilege of sharing something that I feel so strongly connected to, because now I know that I have actually resolved my internal conflict through paths integration, through integrating, through joining the different parts that are within me, so that when I come to you in front of the camera, then I am this whole person. Does this happen with you? Do you go through times when you really want to feel that much at peace with yourself, so that you go ahead, spot all those opportunities that can take you long and far and achieve unprecedented success? What are you waiting for? Put your paths, acknowledge them, let them talk to each other, see what can they exchange with each other, so that you feel 100% you, just like me. Thank you so much for watching Slate with Anita, and especially this episode. It's one of my most special concepts that I have gone through in the book Sue Knight's NLP at Work. Do stay on with my journey. I hope you're also catching my other series by looking at the other playlists. And while you're doing all that you're doing, please integrate your paths, because everything is beautiful when you resolve your internal conflict. Ready? I am. Thank you for watching.